Hey, we've got a box of teen and more teen, and maybe young adults, or maybe teen, young adults. Let you be decide. Gotta fix this box. Hey, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina KRSTINA. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy schmancy stuff going on here. And we've got a pound of young adult, let's say young adult teen books here. And we're just going to go through them on the quick side because there are just so many of them. And here are my glasses. There was a co-host, he disappeared. But anyways, in no particular order, Nancy Drew files case 46, win, place, or die. When Carson Drew investigates in a Derby entry called Pied Piper, Nancy and Bess fly to the event. The favorite is too sweet, but during a workout, an accident nearly takes the horse's jockey out of the running. Later, while racing, the jockey takes a nasty spill, and Nancy is sure the real cause is foul play. Oh, God. I need that. Shoot. Nancy Drew files A Summer of Love, Trilogy 1, Case 48, A Date with Deception. Summer in the Hamptons, a posh New York beach resort, promises plenty of fun. What more could Nancy and her friends want? Maybe a touch of romance and a dash of mystery. Dawn writer, Jan Hudson. Eagle flies over hills is the first horse the Blackfoot Nation has ever had, and Kit Fox wants to be the first person to ride him. But the elders refuse her request, saying it's a job for a warrior and not a mere girl. Nancy Drew files, Case 58, Hot Pursuit. While vacation in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Nancy, Bess, and George learn that one of the hottest rock groups around is filming a music video at their resort. But something sinister is brewing beneath the palm trees, turning the island retreat into a danger zone. Nancy Drew Case Files 55. Don't look twice. Nancy's in Chicago to cheer the Emerson College basketball team led by co-captain Ned Nickerson against their arch rivals, but she can't believe her eyes. Ned has saved his slick moves for post-game celebration. Is he really making a pass at Denise Mason, a cheerleader? My girl, too. 13-year-old Vada Sultan Fuse is being kicked out of her room because her stepmother Shelley is about to have a baby. Her friend Judy's in love with a jerk, and even though Vada's best friend Thomas died 2 years ago, she still misses him. My name is Amy. Maya and I have been best friends for 4 years. Everything about us is either just the opposite or else matches. We do everything together. Sometimes we even wear the same clothes. We tell each other our dreams. We call each other up and check out what we're watching on TV. Every year we like the same boy. I hope things never change. Ah, I gotta put these down here. Ice Princess, Nicholas Walker. Samantha and Alex finally have the chance to go for the gold, but Samantha hasn't been feeling well, and her parents think the ice dancing competition may have something to do with it. They want to send her to a creepy old boarding school until she recovers. Not good. Not good. Pam MUNOZ Ryan, Esperanza Rising. Esperanza believes her life would be wonderful forever. She would always live on her family ranch in Mexico. She would always have fancy dresses and beautiful home filled with servants. Papa and Abuelita would always be with her. But a sudden tragedy shatters her world, and Esperanza and Mama flee to California, where they settle in a camp for Mexican farm workers. Matt Christopher, Supercharged, Infield. Captain and third baseman Penny Farrell is amazed by the sudden change in her teammates on the Hawks softball team. First Sherry and now Karen have suddenly turned into super athletes, just what her team desperately needs. But at the same time, the girls have become cold and emotionless, as if their personalities have been replaced by new athletic skills. Treasures of Rattlesnake Hill, Elizabeth Baker. 9-year-old Anne Deming didn't think she would like life in the country. She was afraid of getting lost in the woods. She didn't like the cobwebs and the spiders in the huge brick house on Rattlesnake Hill. The horse nipped her and she got cats and skunks mixed up. But she did want to search for historic deeds signed by the Indians, which would help her father settle the boundary dispute with the crotchety neighbor, Mr. Spring. Path of Pale Horse. Sometimes faith can be a doctor's strongest weapon. Paul Fleischman. Lep's father's last words uttered on the battlefield inspired Lep a feverish desire to master medicine and rescue the sick. Anne M. Martin, Bummer Summer. Summer is supposed to be the best time for the year, but the summer looks like a total loss to Cammie Whitlock. First, her dad gets married again, then his new wife Kate moves in, and Cammie has to be put up with her 2 children. They won't leave Cammie alone. The 3-year-old Muffin flushes Cammie's best paints down the toilet, almost strangles her cat, and the baby cries for hours at a time. Ugh. The Smoky Cow Horse. Smokey is a wild colt and a lot of spirit. From his early life on the open range, he shows that he's a horse to be reckoned with, fighting off wolves and mountain lions alike. There's one predator he can't beat, man, but Smokey quickly realized that Clint, a good-natured cowboy, is his friend who helps him become the best cow horse in the Western Territory. Ruthie's Gift, Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. How can a girl ever hope to become a lady when she's surrounded by a house full of boys? Lively, sassy Rue Cork, 8 years old and living in Indiana in 1916, loved her 5 brothers, but sometimes she can't help wishing for the company of another girl. Live from the 5th grade. Rogers Friday is an ace-class clown, and Marcia Sassano is a Joker's worst enemy. She has no sense of humor. If Marcia screams when she finds a dead snake in a locker, that's not Roger's problem, is it? Let's get a little going here. This is about 200. All right. Oh, I know this lady. Judy Blume. Here's to you, Rachel Robinson. Rachel's a straight-A student on every teacher's wish list for natural helpers. She practices the flute 45 minutes a day, but she grinds her teeth at night and dreads dinner time now that her troublemaker brother Charles has been expelled from boarding school and is back home, acting up to get attention from her parents. Nancy Drew Files, Case 83, Diamond Deceit. Nancy Drew Files, Case 52, Danger for Hire. A Little Princess by Frances Hogan Burnett. When Sarah comes to stay at Miss Minchin's School for Girls, she is treated like a little princess. She has a room of her own, a maid to wait on her, and clothes that are envy of all the other girls. Miss Minchin says that Sarah's wealthy father spoils her, but Sarah is kind and generous, and she's not afraid of the terrible headmistress. When the dolls woke. Keep faith and seek the fortune here. All her life, Gail has heard about the beautiful dollhouse that once belonged to her mother. Now the dollhouse is hers, and she discovers the old house has secrets. Helen Keller. Teacher. It's 2 heads. Teacher. For 20-year-old Anne Sullivan, life has been one hardship after another. All alone and left half blind, she grew up in a poorhouse with her only pride and determination to sustain her. Even though the odds were against her, she would never allow her handicap to defeat her. That is until she meets Helen Keller. Oh, good God. There's so many. We're just going to go through the Black Stallion legend. When tragedy strikes in Alex Ramsey's life, he flees west with the Black Stallion. In a moment of madness, he sets his beloved horse free in the desert. Then, dazed and heartsick, Alec wanders aimlessly until he collapses. A young Native American boy finds Alec and rescues him from near death. The summer the spies moved in. Meg knows a spy when she sees one, and Erna, the daughter of a Russian diplomat who has just moved into the house across the street, is definitely a spy. Road to Avalia. The journey begins. Sarah Stanley's life is turned upside down when her adored father is threatened with financial ruin. To protect her from scandal during this crisis, she determines to send her and her nanny, Louisa, from their Montreal mansion to Prince Edward Island, her late mother's birthplace and home to the family she's never known. Gordon Corman, MacDonald Hall Goes Hollywood. MacDonald Hall has been chosen its fabulous, perfect, ideal as the set for a Hollywood movie with superstar Jody Jones. Bruno would do anything to be in the movie, but Boots will do anything to keep out of trouble. And the girls of Miss Scrimmage's finishing school next door would do anything to meet Jody Jones. Midnight in the Dollhouse. The doctor has said it twice. Melissa must stay in bed for 4 months until her broken hip heals. Time moves unbearably slowly until Mother brings a tiny dollhouse. How to make and keep friends. Hi, ready for new styles? Ready to let the real you shine in everything you do? Well, the Smart Talk books are for you. Christmas Ghosts. Oh, wait. Christina's Ghost, sorry. The last thing Christina wants to do this summer is stay with grumpy Uncle Ralph in his old Victorian house. She's sure she'll have an awful time, but on the first day there, Christina meets a sad, mysterious ghost boy who needs her help. Scott Odell and Elizabeth Hall, Thunder Rolling Mountains. In the spring of 1877, 14-year-old Sound of Running Feet daughter of Chief Joseph Nez Pierce sees white people panning gold in the little creek that feeds the Wallow River and brings word of them to his father. Blue Willow by Doris Gates. Janky Lankin can't remember when she's lived in the same place for more than a year. Her family has to keep moving so that her father can find work. Number the Stars. 10-year-old Anne-Marie Johansson and her best friend Ellen Rosen often think about life before the war. Silver Pencil. A special Christmas, Janet Laidlow's father gives her a silver pencil for her stories, and she begins to write about the lush island of Trinidad and her family's house on the hill. How to be cool in the 3rd grade. The Private Notebook of Katie Roberts. The Tarantula in My Purse. Jean Fritz, The Cabin Faced West. Anne Hamilton was so lonely she could hardly keep from crying in the cabin that lay between her home and the nearest settlement. There were only boys and babies. She longed for her cousin Margaret and the old friends back in Gettysburg. Katie Woodland. Katie Woodland is a real adventurer. She'd rather hunt than sew, plow, than bake, and beat her brother Dares every chance she get. Katie is friends with the Indians who scare most of the neighbors who, like her mother and sister, don't understand her at all. Magical Melons. That lovely redhead Katie Woodland is back. Now there are more frontier adventures with the heroine of Newbery Metal novel Wood Caddy. Anne M. Martin, 11 Kids, One Summer. How do 11 kids, 2 parents, and a cat named Zaza manage to hang out together? Let's see. Oh, that's a classic. Let's see. Boy Talk. Joni, Crystal, and Susu run up a humongous phone bill calling a teen advice line. They decide to start their own. Black Beauty. Through the eyes of Black Beauty, we observe the actions of human beings. The gallon horse is sold too many times to many types of people. Some are good and some are bad. Cousins. Cammy loves her family except for her cousin Patty Ann. Though she knows she shouldn't feel this way, she can't help it. Patty Ann is too perfect. What my sister remembered. It's been 8 years since Molly has seen her older sister Beth. The girls were adopted by different families when their parents were killed in a car crash. Now Beth is coming for a visit and Molly is so excited she can hardly wait to see her. The GAMMAGE Cup. Troublemaker outlaws. Words like these have never been spoken in Slipper by the Sea. In the isolated town, the Manipins, or small ones, minded their jobs, dressed simply, and never questioned the leading family. Louise FITZHUGH, The Long Secret. Harriet the Spy is going to catch the mysterious note leaver if it takes her all summer. Roller skates. Lucinda's year in New York City begins when her family sent to Europe and left her with Miss Peters. Not thank heaven with Aunt Emily and 4 docile ladylike sisters. Miss Peters understood that a girl of 10 wanted to roller skate. Judy Blume, starring J. Friedman as herself. Look out, Florida, here comes Sally J. Friedman. When her family moves to Miami Beach for the winter of 1947 because of her brother's health, Sally is excited and nervous at the same time. Afternoon of the Elves. Something strange and wonderful has appeared in Sarah Kate's junky and overgrown yard, a tiny, delicate village of sticks and leaves. The Defender. Nowhere is friendship and human warmth more important than in the cold reaches of Siberian mountain. In these tiny mountain villages, a neighbor's help can mean the difference between life and death. Ida Early comes over the mountain. Life was rough in the Blue Ridge Mountain of Georgia, but things certainly turn up for the lively when Early came over the mountains for the 4 Sutton children. Ida appeared just in time. When their mother was dead, their fathers at work, and unpredictable Ida hired her on as a housekeeper. Russell Rides Again. Joanna Hertz. Russell is ready for kindergarten now, but on the first day of school, he and Jeremy play a trick on their new teacher that starts them off on the wrong foot. Lois Lowry. Anastasia on her own. Help. Anastasia Krupnik's mother must organize her chaotic life, so Anastasia, who is very organized, and her father invent solution to Mrs. Krupnik problems. Flashman. George MacDonald Fraser. Meet Harry Flashman in a wildly and historically accurate cult classic that introduces us to a history's greatest adventure, randiest cad, and incorrigible scoundrel. And that's the teen box. That's them all. Did you find something for your kid to read? They were interesting, weren't they? Have a good one.